Hello, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to this edition of Lunchtime News, coming to you live on MTV Sports. I'm Shahan Jarangpati. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. Department of Irrigation says that insufficient rains could result in problems arising during cultivation for the Yala season. Professor A.V. Suravira passes away. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry urges Syrian opposition groups to attend upcoming Geneva talks. Now for those stories in detail. Hindus around the world are celebrating the festival of Thai Pongal, the festival of harvest today. Now the Tamil festival of Thai Pongal is a Thanksgiving ceremony in which the farmers celebrate the event to thank the spirits of nature, the sun and the farm animals for their assistance in providing a successful harvest.
Thai Pongal is celebrated on the 14th of January every year. The month of Thai is the harvest season in the Tamil tradition. The Hindus start their day in honor of the sun for a bountiful harvest. It includes feeding the birds that are part of the beauty of the nature and offering thanks to the cattle which gives milk and plows the field, and also the thanksgiving to the sun, which are the foremost customs of this festival.
Now, Thai Pongal, the festival of harvest, was celebrated by Hindus all around the island today.
The Newsfirst team gathered to celebrate this festival at its headquarters this morning. Meanwhile, devotees around the island celebrated the Thai Pongal festival.
Meanwhile, Muslims around the world observe the birth of Prophet Muhammad today. The birth of Prophet Muhammad, known as Milad-un-Nabawi, who was born in the 571st year after Christ in the Saudi Arabian city of Mecca, is considered as an important day for Muslims in the Islamic calendar. The birth of Prophet Muhammad was observed at the Muzawiya Mosque in Colombo 12 yesterday. Organizer of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party of the Colombo district, M. Fauzan Anwar, also attended the ceremony. Meanwhile, a march was held yesterday organized in lieu of Milad-un-Nabawi in Colombo yesterday. A group of school students took part in the march, which was organized in celebration of Prophet Muhammad's birthday today. The march showcased the goodness and kindness towards society by Prophet Muhammad. Moving on to a headline-making story this afternoon, the Department of Irrigation says that an issue will arise with supplying water for cultivation purposes during the Yala season if the required rain is not received during the coming days. Director General of Irrigation Badra Kamaladasa said that as there has been no rain in the Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa areas, water supply has been limited for the Maha season.
The Maha season, which is currently in effect, will end in about a month or a month and a half. But then all water in the reservoirs might be released. The Yala season commences at the beginning of April. So with the prevalent weather conditions and the lack of rain in certain areas, it will be difficult to commence cultivation for the Yala season. So it will be essential that we use the remaining water in reservoirs carefully for cultivation as well as household purposes. We will even have to limit the amount of water released for drinking purposes, so we'll have to manage our resources for this purpose.
Professor A.V. Suravira passed away early this morning. He was 83 years old at the time of his demise. Professor A.V. Suravira was a renowned novelist who has contributed immensely to Sinhala literature with Sinhala short stories. He also served as the Minister of Religious and Cultural Affairs during his political career. Still in local news, a member of the Sri Lanka Army was killed in a motor accident when the defender he was travelling in veered off the road in the Vakumbura area in Bibila.
The victim has been identified as 34-year-old A.D. Nandalal, who was the driver of the Defender. The accident also left 2 persons injured. Our correspondent said that the accident had taken place between 9 and 10 last night. The accident occurred when the Defender, which was flying from Vaunia to Diyatalava, veered off the road and flipped over. The body of the deceased has been placed in the Bibila Hospital morgue.
A motor accident took place in the Badegama area when a lorry crashed into a lamp post last night. The accident had taken place while the Poddal police were on pursuit of the lorry as it had not followed orders of the police to stop. According to our correspondent, the lorry had lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a lamp post. Now, the police said that when inspecting the vehicle, a cow was found inside the vehicle. Now, investigations have been launched by the Badegama police. On to other local news. Residents of the Vilewate area in Habaradua staged a demonstration yesterday saying that the route which leads into their village is obstructed due to the construction of the second phase of the Southern Expressway. The protesters engaged in their demonstration saying that the Dandavana Vilewate road in the Vilewate area has been obstructed. They add that due to the construction activities of the second phase of the Southern Expressway, the road which leads to their village is dilapidated. Our correspondent said that after the Habaradua police had arrived at the scene and offered to provide a solution to the issue, the protesters dispersed. And that's a look at today's edition of Lunchtime News. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Shahan Rampati. Have a pleasant day ahead of you.
Hotline 0114